Hey everybody, it is Chris Brown, your real estate professional and marketing entrepreneur. We're going to go ahead and get started here very shortly. Let's play some visuals out there. Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is Chris Brown, your real estate professional and marketing entrepreneur, coming to you with another episode of State of the Real Estate Market with Chris Brown. Yes. And today's topic, we're going to talk about 9 mistakes to avoid when selling your home in 2021. Obviously, a lot of people right now are thinking about selling their homes because this is a market to sell your home. It is a seller's market, and definitely want to give you guys some tips and tidbits on what you can do to get your home sold fast in 2021 in this market, which is a seller's market. And for those who are here for their very first time to the channel, this is the channel where we talk about not only buying, selling, and investing in real estate, but we also talk about entrepreneurship as well as other items such as building generational wealth. So that's one of the big things I want to make sure that we do discuss as we are going through this. But today's topic is 9 mistakes to avoid when selling your home in 2021. We want to see who is trying to sell their home and what mistakes to avoid. And as I mentioned before, if this is your first time, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And if you find this information to be of value, be sure to share this information with someone else. It may be for you or someone that you care about. You want to share this information with them. If you know someone that's thinking about selling their home, definitely share this information with them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this week's topic: 9 mistakes to avoid when trying to sell your home in 2021. It's a seller's market, guys. So the first one, ignoring repairs. So strangely enough, people are placing homes on the market and they are ignoring certain repairs. So some people would say, well, I'm selling it as is. And this is where that confusion comes in, because a lot of people feel that they can sell the property as is and ignore the repairs. So say about a year ago, when you saw someone and they placed their property on the market, they would take care of those repairs. They would attend to those repairs. But now that the market has shifted to more of what's called a seller's market, a lot of people are placing properties on the market that need repairs. So if you're trying to get top dollar and really sell your property pretty fast, you don't want to ignore the repairs that are needed. So do not ignore the repairs. Another one, overpricing. Yes. We see that the prices are going up weekly. Each week I have automatic alerts that'll let me know. If I have clients that are thinking about selling their home, I have certain alerts that are set up to let me know when the next property is sold, when the next property is going on the market, when is the next property pending. I have all this information coming to me throughout the day and a moment's notice. So people are tending to place their properties at a higher rate because, quite frankly, in some cases, people are paying these prices. We have a lot of people, at least in the Tampa Bay area, where they're coming from other areas like your Northeast, your West Coast, and where those markets are typically and traditionally a bit higher, whereas they're selling their homes and they're cashing out, and they're able to come to the Tampa Bay market because it's still reasonably priced compared to their markets, and pay cash for a brand new home. So we don't want to get too involved with the overpricing, but as the market pans out, we'll see what happens. But be sure to work with a professional to let you know that, hey, if you're too high, and if you're not getting any activity, no showings, then you're probably a bit too high. So especially in the seller's market, if you're not getting any activity in the seller's market, that's the reasons why. All right. Make sure that your timing is correctly. And I kind of touched on it before. A lot of people, like I said, they're pricing their homes a bit higher than what you would ideally think their home is worth, especially if you're looking at values 3 months ago, even just as little as 3 months ago, values have skyrocketed. So make sure that you're timing it when you're placing your property on the market, that you are paying attention to the most recent properties sold, because that's what's going to justify the values in your area. Obviously, if someone's willing to pay more for a home and they're able to pay that amount, that justifies the value ultimately. However, if you're trying to gauge the market, obviously everyone's pricing it a little bit higher because as each month goes by, property values keep going up, especially in my market here in the Tampa Bay area. So getting emotional. So one of the reasons that I help my clients out, and that's, I'd say it's one of my better features, is when I'm working with the seller, one of my strengths is negotiating the contract, understanding what is going on, what is being offered, and what is realistic in the offer, the fine details. But then also there's the emotions. If you're buying or selling a home, and if you've done this in the past, especially on the buying side, and I'll say even on the selling side, there's a lot of emotions that get involved. If you're dealing with a husband and wife, they have their own set of emotions. They're dealing with their real estate professional, then they're possibly dealing with multiple buyers at this time. There's so many different things that are going on. Life is going on, especially if they need to move by a certain time, if they should make certain repairs, the amount of money people are offering. There's so much going on. So as a real estate professional, that's what I do as part of my services, is help remove the emotion from the decision making. So if you are in this process of selling your home, try to keep the emotions to a minimum, or understanding that when you're making certain decisions, that if your emotions are involved or not involved. Let's be realistic. All right. Not hiring a professional photographer. For those who have actually been following me for a while about selling homes, I'm very big on hiring a professional photographer. I do not take pictures, and I'll tell you this right offhand. I will not take pictures myself, and I will not grab my brand new iPhone or iPad to take pictures. I will not do that, and that's not my way of doing business either. So I don't want to do anyone of any disservice by me taking the actual pictures. So that's what I will not do, is take pictures when it comes down to selling a client's home and trying to get top dollar. Keep in mind, and nowadays, and especially after the pandemic, or while we're still partially in it, people are going to the internet first. And if the pictures of your vehicle are not likable, then people are not even going to inquire and read more about it. And if they don't even read more about it, that means they're definitely not going to go visit the property. So invest in the beginning to make sure that you are taking professional pictures of your home. Okay, so keep that in mind. This is one of your largest investments. Why use an iPhone that you can get from anybody can get? Hey, my 12 and 13-year-old nephew could take these pictures, but hire a professional photographer, someone who's done this for a while, especially if they're a real estate professional photographer. All right. So next one is not doing enough prep work. Guys, take your time before just throwing the property on the market. Understand what the market is doing. Understand if there's any shifts. Understand if you should be making updates to the property. Hiring a real estate professional to kind of help you out. A lot of times they're already in the market. They're in the market every day, especially the ones that are full-time. They're in the market every day. So they're going to be able to give you a bit more feedback on your home. But then it's also doing enough prep work so that you have a better understanding of how fast homes are selling. Because if a home sells fast, and typically they are right now, especially at the time of the recording of this video, homes are definitely selling very fast. you have to keep in mind, where are you going to move to next? Exactly. So keep that in mind, because you have to move. You have to move to your next location. You have to be able to do something that is going to be uh, in line with your next move. So keep that in mind. A lot of people ask me, well, what should I do if if I sell my home fast and I can't go to my next location? Well, you may have to get an apartment, or you may have to go to the in-laws. So, so make sure you do enough prep work. I'm sure your in-laws would definitely wouldn't mind you coming by and spending a few months with them while you find your new home. So keep that in mind, definitely. All right, missing additional costs. So a lot of people, when they are calculating their home getting sold, they forget certain things like, if I sell my home at a certain price, I forgot to calculate how much I'm going to have to pay in commissions if I am using a real estate professional, or if I'm using someone else, closing costs, fees, what fees are involved, the costs to get the house ready to go onto the market. And then also the cost to maintain the property while it is on the market, because you still have to keep the utilities on, the water, electric, you still have to maintain everything. So keep in mind that cost. And another cost a lot of people always forget is moving costs. It typically costs a nice penny to move. So if you are moving locally, you're going to have to rent a truck, or if you're moving, that's going to be kind of a distance, you're going to have to probably hire movers, packers, loaders, and then you have to schedule. Like I said, it's an emotional roller coaster when you're selling or even buying a home. So keep that in mind. There's so many different things that are going on. The emotions are on level 10. So keep that in mind when you're going through this process. All right, so a SWOT analysis. So some people are like, well, what is a SWOT? So SWOT analysis are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So when you are selling your home, you want to identify what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are as an individual. If you have sold a home before, that's great. That's great. That's perfectly great. Or would you like to work with someone that has sold multiple homes and they do it on a daily basis? Think about it. I'll work with the person that's only done it once or twice, or I will work with the person that does it on a daily basis. Keep that in mind. So you got to understand if that's going to be your strength or your weakness. Understanding negotiating contracts, especially in today's time. If you're using a real estate professional, they're working harder now in the seller's market than they were in, say, about a year ago. It's not that they weren't working hard at all before. It's just that there's a lot more involved this go around. So you can only imagine where you have a home that is up for sale and it has a dozen offers. And that's very common. Trust me, that is very, very common right now. Where you have a dozen offers, each contract or each offer is a minimum of 13 pages, a minimum, because they may add, you have your HOA documents, you have any association documents, if there's any additional documents that some of the offers are coming with, because people are writing notes, sending pictures of the family, sending pictures of their dog. They're doing all kinds of things. So at minimum, 13 pages for 12 different offers. That is a lot of negotiating. That is a lot of reading. That is a lot of work. So put that in mind. So make sure you understand what your strengths and weaknesses are. Hiring on a professional, a real estate professional, is probably a bit more ideal now. Also understand the opportunities of your home. Hey, opportunities would be ideally the features, special features that your home may have. So if you know your home has a pool, you definitely want to highlight that, especially being in Florida. You definitely want to highlight that as a pool. But if you have certain upgrades that have been done to the home, make sure that you highlight them because you want to make sure that your home stands out more than the next home that may be down the street or that the home that just sold. You want to know why your house may be worth more than the home that just sold. Express those features. And then threats. When I say threats, it's more along the lines of, hey, the home needs repairs, and if I don't do these repairs, it's going to possibly affect my purchase price. Because a lot of times if people come in and say, hey, this roof is 20 years old, even though it doesn't have any leaks, it means that it's going to need to be replaced. Who's to say it's going to make it through the next big storm? Okay. Who's to say it's going to make it through the next year? If you've had to replace a roof before or know anything about roofs, a couple of things. One, they're not cheap. Two, they don't happen right away. You just don't call them up one day, say, hey, I want to have my roof replaced, and they're out there that next day. No, it doesn't happen like that. There's usually a waiting period. So a lot of times people get stuck in that little position because now they have to put a blue tarp on top of their roof. So understand by making repairs that if you make certain repairs, you're going to get your maximum dollar. You won't have to worry about someone trying to negotiate you down. So understand that, okay? Just because it gets sold or you get a bunch of people that are interested, there's a difference of getting a contract, an offer, and then also getting top dollar. There's three differences there. So keep that in mind. And lastly here, we have landscaping. This is a big, big deal. And I say this because just because you have a home that's in today's market, the seller's market, take care of it. The landscaping is going to be one of the first things that people see when they approach the home. If they see that the landscaping is well maintained, and what I mean by well maintained, it's more than just having the grass cut, because if it's just cut and certain things are being done, it just shows that that's the minimum. Okay. But if your grass is like extra green, fluffy looking, the bushes are trimmed, all that good stuff, that means that your home is going to stand out, and that's going to start triggering people in people's mind that, hey, these people really take care of their home. They've trimmed the bushes, they've pressure washed, the grass is cut, grass is green, the flowers are bright, and you can get cheap annuals. These are those bright flowers that are great to sell during the springtime or even during the summertime. Bright flowers that really brighten up the front yard. Perfect. Those are things to really consider. Landscaping. Do not ignore your landscaping. That's one of the harder issues to get over the hump of when you're with a client and they potentially want to view this home, but they see the outside because they drove by it the night before and it made their list. But when they drove by, they're just like, oh, it doesn't look too good on the outside. Okay, so that means it falls to plan B, and it may be the best thing on the inside that anyone's ever seen. And that's why another reason pictures are very important. So there you go, guys. Once again, it's Chris Brown, real estate professional and marketing entrepreneur. I wanted to give you 9 mistakes that you typically do not want to miss or do when you are trying to sell your home. Avoid these mistakes because these are very common, and these are things that trigger, or when I say trigger, it triggers the emotional roller coaster of any potential buyer that is out there. So make sure that you guys are taking care of this. And if you are in a situation where you're thinking about selling your home and you're looking to work with a professional, be sure to do so. Feel free to contact me directly if you would like at realestatewithchrisbrown.com. You can also follow me on social media at Chris Brown RE Pro. Like I said, this channel is a channel definitely not only about buying, selling, and investing in real estate, but it is about building generational wealth as well as entrepreneurship type of thing. So as I'm doing things and discovering things as an entrepreneur, I may share that with my group of people, but ultimately real estate is my thing. So at the end of the day, you guys, if you are buying, selling, or investing in the Tampa Bay area, be sure to check out realestatewithchrisbrown.com. This is once again another episode of State of the Real Estate Market. Be sure to like as well as subscribe, and ultimately make sure you click on that notification button, because when you click on that notification button, you will get a very special notification whenever I release another video to giving you an update about something that you may be interested in. So be sure to take care. Chris Brown, real estate professional and marketing entrepreneur. Peace.